Voters in Amherst called for change when they cast their ballots for the 2017 general election, handing over control of the town board to Democratic leadership who have promised to focus their priorities on development. Now, change has also happened at the top of the Amherst Chamber of Commerce, which helps to facilitate that development among businesses. And we welcome Baynes, the president of the Amherst Chamber, brand new president, newly installed. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. You know, there's a lot to talk about, of course, when it comes to development in Amherst. So let's get right to it. One of the more recent developments is, of course, Whole Foods in the Northtown Plaza. In the middle of a lot of development, in the middle of a lot of traffic there on Sheridan. What can you tell us about how that's doing, and then what about the Northtown Plaza as a whole?
Well, I think the people at Whole Foods are very ecstatic to be in Western New York. I know this was an area that they've been looking at for quite some time. They reached out to the developer, WS Development, who has grand plans for the Northtown Plaza. And speaking with the developers there, I think they're still on target for a completion of August of 2019. As been reported before, you've seen LL Bean, Pottery Barn, Williams-Sonoma, and West Elm are coming to the plaza. So very exciting up there in that part of town.
Excellent.
So the Boulevard Mall is obviously also in that area, and it's been struggling just like the Eastern Hills Mall is as well, with people starting to shop online more often recently. So moving forward, what's the future of these big properties, and how will that affect the town's development as a whole?
Well, I think when you look at Eastern Hills Mall, you're already seeing some outside interest from Uniland Development. They're looking at the property closely. When you look at the Boulevard Mall, you're also talking about some potential interest from the outside as well. You saw a transfer in the deed, and I think what you're going to see in Western New York is some new transformations, bringing us to the 21st century and how we shop in retail and how we use our properties. We have a great supervisor in Brian Kolpa who has ambitious plans for Niagara Falls Boulevard, and Boulevard Mall is obviously a big portion of that.
Two really, really important developments, two huge parcels when we're talking about the town. Another huge parcel, just as you just mentioned, the Niagara Falls Boulevard. What can people expect to see on the future of that? Again, a lot of traffic, but not too bad. A lot of people, a lot of interest, a lot of businesses. What should people expect to be the future of Niagara Falls Boulevard?
Well, the supervisor has laid out in his State of the Town address to the Amherst Chamber that he has grand plans for the boulevard, and what he's looking at is possible zoning changes, height restriction changes there. And when you're looking at the Boulevard Mall, that is a parcel that may or may not need to be broken up, may bring in some outside interest in the development side of things with maybe some elderly care facilities, some mixed use. And also you have the NFTA right now about to engage in a $5 million environmental study to see if the light rail transition down there to UB is quite possible.
Yeah, that's a big project too.
Yes.
The Westwood property has been tied up in lawsuits for years now between the developer and the town. What should people expect moving forward? Should we expect to see some development with this, with new leadership?
Well, I think it's an exciting time for the Westwood project and for the town as a whole. I think you mentioned it earlier about a new slate in the town board. The developers, I know, have been talking with the town board and with the supervisor specifically. I know the supervisor would like to create some sort of Central Park theme in that area, tie it into possibly Audubon and the gun range. It's ambitious, but I think everybody's at the table. I think everybody's willing to work together, hear each other out, and make sure that Amherst is the place that it needs to be for the residents and for our businesses.
All right, AJ, thank you so much for joining us. We
Thanks
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Appreciate it.